this is Hema Vyas, and I'm here to speak to you today about hard alchemy and why I think it's so important, especially at this time with where we are with everything that's going on in the world, but also where we are in terms of what's happening within us and the fact that we've had this time to pause, to stop, to think about ourselves and to recognize that something fundamental has to change, whether it's in how we're living, how we're doing things, how we're presenting ourselves to the world, how the world is expressing itself to us. I'm a psychologist and a spiritual mentor. I'm a speaker and I also am a workshop and retreat leader. I've run lots of workshops, retreats internationally as well as in London, UK, and it's my pleasure to be here today. Why do I think that the heart alchemy process is so important? I'd like to start by just explaining my understanding of the heart. The heart is so much more than a vital organ. The heart is a space and place that opens up a portal to infinite wisdom, to infinite possibilities. It's a portal to everything that is available to us that is unseen, and therefore we no longer need to be limited by a 3D reality, a reality which at the moment feels quite dense. Within the heart there is a point where the feeling aspect of emotion enters. And it is this space and place within us which is what I call the state of pure gold. What I mean by that is it is indestructible, it is pure, it is vibrant, it is light and radiance. And when we connect to that space and place within us from a space and place of purity, pureness, free of conditioning, free of thoughts, feelings, memories, beliefs, in that space what happens is we are able to experience love in its essence, which is our essence. We are in essence love, and when we experience ourselves as love, when we experience life as love, then everything becomes effortless. This space and place of pure gold within our hearts, I believe, is fundamentally empty. Empty because it is full of potential. Empty because it is where all dreams are manifest, where creativity exists, where whatever we choose to imagine, to create, to believe becomes possible. So why is it that we're not living a life that is effortless? Why is it that we can't access this space and place within us? If it's within us, what's preventing us? Well, that's what I'd like to share with you today, because for me, hard alchemy is a process whereby we excavate, where we release like all hidden wisdom, all hidden treasures. We have to clear away all the things that are covering it up. And so hard alchemy is a process where we uncover all the things that are preventing us from knowing ourselves as pure love, knowing ourselves as purity, knowing ourselves as possibilities, experiencing life as effortless, because that is what we really deserve and that is our birthright. Hard alchemy is a process where I believe that we have held in our DNA, which is manifest through our heart portal, in our DNA, thoughts, feelings, memories that don't necessarily belong to us, that belong to our ancestors, that belong to the society we grow up in, the culture we've grown up in, that belong to other people, peers, friends, work colleagues, all the things that condition us and help us become who we think we are, but ultimately we get to a point where in our lives we recognize that's not who we have to be, especially when it no longer serves us. I believe that everything we have ever experienced, whether it's us, whether it's other people, our ancestors, whether it's families, other people around us, everything has a purpose. And when something has a purpose, then it has validity. I believe our hearts hold on to anything that has a purpose. It holds on to it thinking, but I might need this sometime. So I need to hold on to this bit of information in case at a later stage it becomes useful. And I'm sure you've all experienced that, something you learned years ago suddenly becomes so important and you think, gosh, I'm so glad I knew that or learned that or experienced that. And so those things that are held serve a purpose. And it's wonderful. The heart has nothing but the purest of intentions for us. But what happens is, over time, anything that is held that becomes redundant, anything that becomes basically unuseful to us, sits there and it gathers dust effectively. And it is those things that we need to dust off. And heart alchemy is literally about that. It's about recognizing things that we may be energetically, emotionally, physically be holding on to as part of our DNA, as part of our body, as part of our mind, as part of our hearts. And when we begin to release these things, we free ourselves up to become more creative. We free ourselves to recreate ourselves anew. We release stuff, and that space becomes a space where anything is possible. It becomes a space of pure gold. Because what we radiate outside of us is what comes from our hearts. What comes from our hearts are things that are held there. And when we are holding on to things that have outgrown their usefulness to us, then what we experience in the world is struggle. What we experience in the world is density. What we experience in the world is pain, struggle, and things feel difficult and dense. And life becomes difficult to navigate. When we have the courage to begin to work through these things, to release these things, then something beautiful happens. Life becomes more and more effortless. And when life becomes effortless, everything becomes so much more joyful. We become connected to a sense of trust where we don't need to hold on to things in order to feel safe. We don't need to hold on to information. We don't need to hold on to experiences. We don't need to hold on to memories. We recognize that as we let go of things, whatever we need will be available to us if we really need it. Because what we're sometimes holding on to are things that at another time was so appropriate, but the life that we're living now, it's no longer appropriate. And so to experience that sense of joy that comes from that pure space in our hearts, we have to be willing to actually do the work. The truth is there are no shortcuts in this world. The truth is if we try and take a shortcut, we'll end up right back where we started. So now more than ever, it is important to recognize that we have to do the work to release what's been held for so long. And that's the not so good news. I'd like to share what I think is good news, which is that right now with what's happening in the world, energies are vibrant. There are frequencies that are rife in the planet, that are rife in the atmosphere, that are rife here all around us. And these vibrations, these frequencies are actually amplifying anything we do. And so when we take the first step to release something old, something negative, something that doesn't serve us, something from our past, something from our ancestors, then anything we do, when it's amplified, we're going to get through it so much more quickly. And that is so wonderful, because I'm telling you that if you are willing to even take that tiny little step, that once upon a time, 100 years ago, that tiny step would have been meaningless. But today, it becomes amplified. Today, that one little step is going to have so much significance. So what are these steps that we can take? For me, the steps that we need to take is to recognize that everything in our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, what we're holding in our hearts. Therefore, there are no accidents in the world, and therefore everything we're experiencing is an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to heal, an opportunity to release. When we begin to see everything as a blessing, when we adopt an attitude of gratitude, then things begin to move really quickly. We begin to release things. Gratitude is a vibration, and our hearts work on vibration. And therefore, anything that we tap into as a positive vibration, a high vibration, it basically overrides the lower vibrations. So that's one of the steps that we can take. The other step that we can take is to recognize that, we can write things out, because when we write with the way right-handed, left-handed, when we write, it's a direct link to our hearts. And so our hearts are able to communicate so much more powerfully than if we just think about it. When we think about it, essentially we're disconnected from our hearts because our minds take over. And when we're caught up in a loop of circular thinking, when we're caught up in a loop of thinking about things that we don't know a way out of, then the heart can't give us the wisdom that is present there. But when we write, we release, we can burn. But one of the most powerful techniques and tools that I recommend is meditation. Meditation has been around forever, from the beginning of our time as human beings, I would say. Meditation, once upon a time, was really reserved for, monks and sages and people on a spiritual path, not for the everyday person. And now, because so much has been crystallized in our hearts, and now because there is such a need for the world to wake up, for the planet to wake up, for people to wake up to the truth of who they really are, their magnificence, their ability to live in so much abundance, their ability to live in joy, to live in love, because that need is there, meditation has now become something that I would say is imperative for everybody. We meditate in order to switch off the mind and to listen to our heart. We meditate in order to recognize those things that are conditioned beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and memories. We meditate in order to begin to release them. Meditation, as I say, right now is so amplified that once upon a time we might have had to sit in meditation for hours and hours and hours to get any kind of insight. And now I really believe that even meditating for a short amount of time is going to bring about such huge transformation. And I know there's a lot about meditation, and I know people don't always understand how it works, why it works, and therefore don't know how to actually turn it into a really powerful tool. And so if that's something you're interested in, please do get in touch with me, because what I'm really passionate about is teaching people ancient wisdom around meditation and how to use it to alchemize the heart, how to use it to release all that's held there that's not serving you, and to tap into that wealth, that pure gold that is part of your essence. The other tool that is again very, very ancient and was, used by certain people because it's such a powerful tool. And in modern days it's known as Kundalini, but I like to call it Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga basically means yoga of knowledge. And basically, because I believe we hold in our hearts knowledge that goes back many, many lifetimes, we need to clear a lot of stuff that no longer serves us in order to get to what the ancestors knew. Ancestors knew as pure wisdom, as opposed to thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, because they are limited. Thoughts, feelings, beliefs are limited to one perspective. But true wisdom is expansive. True wisdom is all expansive and all-knowing. And when we begin to tap into that truth, that wisdom, then our ancestors are able to give us the wisdom as to how to live our lives purposefully and how to live our lives with meaning, which is really where fulfillment comes from. So today I'd like to give you just a couple of exercises that you can do. You can do it for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Build up if you can. That is going to help you release what I believe is deeply held in your heart. You don't need to do anything more than that, but just literally a couple of these exercises that's going to help you move something in your heart. And you do this for about a number of days. If you can do it for 10 days, 20 days, 40 days, whatever feels comfortable. But if you do it consistently for a number of days, I'd love to hear how you get on, because I truly believe it can make such a difference to the quality of your life, to the quality of your experiences. And then I'm going to do just a very short 5-minute little guided meditation, again, just to help you connect to your heart and to release whatever might be there. Especially today, given that it's a full moon tonight, it's going to be especially powerful. So, for now, I suggest that you just watch me so that I can explain what I'm going to do. So the first exercise that I'm going to show you is about releasing something old and bringing in something new. It's a very simple exercise. You literally get your hands, gently rest them on your shoulders and lift up. You don't need to hold on to your shoulders, you're just resting your arms. Your thumbs are at the back of your shoulders and the first 4 fingers are at the front. What you do is you breathe out as you turn to the right, and then you breathe in as you turn to the left. Breathing out, breathing in. You may want to try it, or you may want to just continue watching me or listening to me, and then I'm going to give you the second exercise. So if you want to try it with me, please do join in. So we're just going to look to the left, we're going to breathe in and breathing out to the right. As I say, you can do that for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and if you find that it's easy, you may want to do it for a little bit longer, but whatever feels comfortable for you. This is really powerful. It activates cells in your heart, it activates energy in your heart, it activates meridians and energy field around you. And so it's not just about the breathing, it's about the energy, it's about everything that is connected, because our hearts radiate energy all around us and outside of us. So it is tapping into all of those energies. And like I say, just a couple of minutes and it's so powerful. The next exercise I'd like to show you is about releasing ancestral energy that no longer serves you. Things that might have been appropriate at one time, but is no longer appropriate. Very simple. So we clench our hands in fists, thumbs on the outside, and what we're going to do is we're going to gently just create an arc line around the head. And we're going to do this all the time we're breathing out. So again, you can do this for about a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever's comfortable. I recommend doing it in odd times. If 1 minute, 3 minutes, it's usually better, but whatever's comfortable, because it's such a short time that I have with you. I don't want to go into the mechanics of the timing for now. So whatever's comfortable, but if you can do about a minute, then that's really going to help you release stuff. Again, it's about the energy field, it's about our arc line around our head, it's about activating the heart, it's about activating our energy field. Releasing, and anything we release, we create space, and it is only when we create space that we can actually experience true joy. It is in space that we experience pure love. So do give it a go. If anybody wants to get in touch with me and ask any questions, again, please feel free to do so. I know that this time, it's not easy to always sort of get it right. I know often when I've explained things, people sort of come back and go, am I doing it right? At the end of the day, if you're doing something, it's going to be great. So don't worry about what you're doing. Just try it, feel it, allow your heart to tell you if it feels right. If it feels right, then it's probably right. Okay. And so now what I'd like to do is just lead you into a beautiful, just a short 5-minute guided meditation, connecting you to your heart, so that you can just allow everything I've been talking about to sink in and just feel if it feels right for you, if it resonates. If not, I thank you for listening, and if it resonates, I invite you to take further steps on your journey and explore what else is possible in terms of really truly alchemizing your heart and getting to that state of pure gold. So if you'd like to just sit wherever you are, just being comfortable, just legs uncrossed unless you're sitting cross-legged like this. But if you're sitting on a chair, feet firmly on the floor, gently closing your eyes, and just allow me to guide you to a very short meditation. I want you to put your attention on your heart space. And as you do, I want you to become aware that your heart is beating from the moment you are born till your last breath. Become aware of your heartbeat as a sound, a rhythm. Become aware of other people around you, either who are joining us here in this space, your family, your friends, your loved ones, people you may or may not have seen for a while, people you work with, people in your community, your neighbours, people all over the world. An awareness that you all have hearts that beat to a particular rhythm. And while each heartbeat has its own individual rhythm, which is what makes you uniquely you. When we are free of all our past conditioning, our hearts united create a symphony, a beautiful harmony that creates love and peace throughout the world. That is the magnificence of who you are. The truth that you belong here, you matter. Your life matters, your heart matters. Become aware of an intention to tune into your heart, to feel its incredible beauty, power, significance. Find the courage to clear out all the unwanted thoughts, feelings, memories. To allow that point of light where your heart vibrates with pure love to begin to shine through out into the world, creating your experiences from a place of joy and love. Allow yourself to feel that for just a few moments. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. Nice deep breath, and allowing yourself to be fully grounded in this present moment wherever you are. I thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. I hope it resonated with you, and I hope that it has helped inspire you to recognize that we are so much more than our lives being 3D, that you are so much more filled with love, filled with possibilities, filled with potentiality. There is that state of pure gold within you, and when you learn to access it, it makes all of life effortless. Surely that is what we all deserve. Thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to hearing from you with any questions, and I'm available on Instagram, the Hema Vyas. I have a website, hemavyas.com. If you'd like to get in touch with me,